Welcome to another edition of TechBytes with Ron Nutter, your home for all things relating to smart home technology. In this episode, we're going to talk about managing Wi-Fi band steering with your Peplink B1 series routers. Hi, I'm Ron Nutter, and we're going to be working on this together. For any items mentioned in this episode, there may be affiliate links in the description. If you click on these links, I might get a small commission, but that won't affect the price you pay for the item. If you want to get notified when new content is uploaded, please click on subscribe and enable notifications. Now, here's what we're talking about today, and we're referencing the Peplink B1 or the B1 5G, and we're talking about managing Wi-Fi band steering. This may not be a term you've heard about, and we're going to discuss some things at a very high level just so that you can kind of get the basics, because I can do a whole presentation on Wi-Fi band steering and all the stuff behind the scenes, but that's not something that, a lot of us need to get into the weeds on. First thing we're going to do is talk about what is Wi-Fi band steering and why we need it, or why it's offered. Pick your verbiage there. Next thing we're going to do is look at the initial B1 or B1 5G config, just so you can kind of see where we're starting, because right now I have not got the band steering enabled. Number 3, we'll talk about implementing band steering, and it really is pretty straightforward once you understand the logistics, and I've got a good reason as to why I want to do it, and that may or may not be the same for you, but at least you'll see kind of what's going on. And then we'll talk a little bit of troubleshooting information, more kind of what to look for in the B1 5G once you've got it up and running. So what is Wi-Fi band steering? Well, at a high level, it's a decision that gets made involving communications between the client and the access point is to whether to use 2.4 or 5, depending on the exchange of information. Because when the client's trying to associate to the AP, one of the things that's sent up is, hey, Mr. AP, here's what I can do. And the AP comes back and goes, okay, here's what I can do. And then they start looking at the signal quality between the 2.4 and 5 gig range, and then a connection is made at that point. Now, that's if everything's working right. I have had several cases to where a device wasn't able to switch correctly, or a device supported 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, but I want to lock it in a specific band. So what I would do at that point is go into the configuration, and we'll show this here in just a bit, to get it to where you have one SSID that works at 2.4 and one that works at 5. And I've done that a fair amount because there's a lot of the smart home technology I've dealt with that if it is dual band capable, do I want it to go on to 5 gig? And only if it's transferring video is about the only justification I can make. I prefer to keep all the smart home stuff down on 2.4. Some of it only supports 2.4. And this way, if something did go south, then you've got it controlled as to how much bandwidth it can consume. So that's the reason I did it. Okay, now we're going to go over to the console on the Peplink. This is what you'll see when you've pretty much not done a whole lot to your 5.1 or the 5.1G. Sorry, the B1 or the B1 5G. You'll see, I'll go over here to access point. You'll see the single SSID that's there. And I left mine with the default because I wanted to have that always as a fallback reference. So what you'll want to do is then go down to settings, and this is kind of where the secret sauce gets buried. Now you can do this from in control. I like to do it locally. So you see when you set up an SSID, it's automatically going to be geared for both 2.4 or 5. Now, depending on the dual band AP you got, if it's only got a single radio in it, you can set a preferred frequency. So you can kind of steer it a little bit the way you want to. Or, with the way I'm going to show you, You can have dedicated SSIDs that only appear on a single frequency range. But that's really the only place you have to go change it. Now we'll get into the fun of setting everything up. But if you saw one of my past videos, anytime I touch the Peplink, I always back up the configuration. So we'll go over here to System, Configuration, and Download. And then we will do, let's see, how do we want to title this one? There's no one right or wrong to do this. And so we can do, I'll put today's date, before band steering change. Okay, and we'll click Save. Okay, so we're good to go there. So we'll go back over here to Access Point, and we will add our two different SSIDs. So LWAP_2, and this is one I just, as a naming convention that just was, it was a default on one of the first Cisco wireless LAN controllers that I did. So we'll leave all that on. We'll put it down to WPA2, WPA3. We will well, if I could type right. Okay. We're not going to do anything about restricting mode, no blocking IP range. Okay, that's good there. And we will add the other one for 5 only. And again, leaving that on. Security policy, we'll do it WPA2, WPA3, so that we can take advantage of 3 if it's there. But if the device can't do 3, 2 should be a supported situation. So we'll add the shared key there, passphrase, whatever you want to call it. And we'll click Save. And we'll go down here to Settings. And even though we haven't applied the config, it already knows about the new SSIDs. So we will, on LWAP2, since that's going to be strictly 2.4, I'm going to disable 5 gigahertz on that one. And then for LWAP5, again, we're going to disable 2.4 because I want these to be frequency range specific. And that's just the way I've been doing this. So we'll click Save here. Okay, and then let's, after clicking Apply Changes, yes. So it's going to take it just a second here to spin around and see what's going on. And we have hit it with a fair amount, so it'll take just a little bit here. Okay, so that's fine. So if we go up to Dashboard, now it's got LWAP5 on there. Give it a second. It's going to have 2 up. It sometimes takes just there we go. See, and see, here's the difference. LWAP2 shows it's only on 2.4. LWAP5 shows it's on 5 only. Got a little bit ahead into the troubleshooting. So now, since it looks like it's okay, we're going to do a test here, and I'm going to change, and I'm going to go over to LWAP2, and we'll make sure I can get out to the internet. It looks like I can. Okay, yeah, we're good to go there. So that has got it up and running. So everything is fine there. If we go to status, actually we're going to go, yeah, we'll go to access point. So we've got the 2 different frequency ranges up there, and what we can do, it's going to take a little while for the information to start recording, so we can see what's coming in on 2.4 by simply deselecting 5, and you can see what's going on there. Wireless client, again, we can see what's going on there. So we're good to go. So now at this point, what we're going to do is we'll go back down here to System, Configuration, and we're going to download. And then what we will do is I click on one we've already used and then just change one word, as long as I don't get myself into trouble with moving where the cursor is. And then we'll talk after. So we've got the changes made. So you can see it was pretty straightforward. Now we'll go into a little bit of the troubleshooting, or poking around to see what's going on. Well, now we're going to do, it's troubleshooting, but it's not. It's mainly knowing how the different components of all this are, if they look like they're working all right. So we'll look up here from the dashboard page, so we can see we've set up the two SSIDs, and when they don't have both bands illuminated like this one is, then you know it's band specific. And if you want to, you can actually turn off the AP from here. That wouldn't be a good idea for me because I'm getting to it wirelessly, so I'd kind of be shooting myself in the foot. And if we go status, then you can see that on LWAP 2, we've got one client attached. Well, not really, but it hasn't gotten updated. I just made a change before I started recording. And if we do a LWAP 5, then you can see this one again. This one's just starting. So you can see how much is being sent, how much is being received, what clients you're at. So you can click on clients. You can see the MAC addresses of the different devices. You can see what generation of Wi-Fi is there, which is important because if you're trying to get Wi-Fi 6 speeds and it's only Wi-Fi 5, this is a good indication right here of what's going on. And if we look at nearby devices, that just tells you what else it sees in the area. So we've got, a good indication of what's going on. Let's see if system tells us anything. No, not in this case. Status, if we go active sessions, okay, it's not really showing us anything there relating to the wireless that we've done. So really, this is pretty straightforward. You can see what's going on. You know about doing the config backup before and after you start. That way, in case there's a problem, you've got a clean fallback that you don't have to worry about, unselecting the different options and setting things the way where you just go back to the config backup you made before you started, load that up, let the Peplink reboot, and then you're back to where you were with a little bit less work involved. Well, thank you for watching. If this video has helped you or provides value, I'd really appreciate it if you could click on the like button, thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please click on subscribe now and enable notifications. We'll see you in the next episode. And again, thanks for watching.